day, Junior Tucky. I am Mrs. Bjodenkamp, and in today's lesson, I'm going to be covering the argument and reflective essay. Firstly, we need to ask ourselves, what is an argumentative essay? An argumentative essay is agreeing or disagreeing with a certain statement or question. The aim of this type of essay is to persuade your reader to believe your side of the argument. You need to use a formal register. That means no slang and no contractions. An argument is always based on knowledge and research. It is not based on your opinion, and therefore it is not biased. Use persuasive phrases like, "It seems clear to me that," "the text shows that," or "this example indicates that." Use linking phrases to also move between the two sides of your argument, nevertheless, or on the other hand. Let's look at the next slide. Argumentative essay continued. Use rhetorical questions. This is a good way to get your reader on your side. Remember, rhetorical questions are ones that have obvious answers that your reader will begin to think about in their mind and therefore start to side with your side of the argument. Use emotional language to sway the opinion of the reader towards your side of the argument. Arguments are usually done in present tense, and your tone should be convincing. Planning. Now grade 10's planning is absolutely essential. Your marker or your teacher will know that you have not planned your argumentative essay within reading the first paragraph of your essay. Use these steps to try and help plan a clear and concise essay. Step 1. Analyze your question. What is it asking? Which side do I fall on? And then highlight the important parts of the question. Let's look at an example question over here. Has the internet made society better? What is it asking us? This is a very clear question. We don't really need to look at what the good or the bad side is right here because the question is so straightforward. Has the internet made society better? Which side of the argument do I fall on? For me and my personal views, I feel like the internet has made society better. So I know where my argument is going to go in this case. Then I should highlight the important parts of the question. Because this question is so straightforward and clear, I would highlight the entire thing. Now, let's move on to step 2. Create a list or draw a mind maps of the pros and the cons of your topic. They will serve as your P or your point, example, and explain. If you have watched my other videos about the literature essay, I use the Peel method. Now this is the P method without the L, without the link. Then step 3, you're going to organize your thoughts and points using the P method. Let's look at the next slide. Planning continued example. Now this particular P or PEE, point, example, explain, is for our topic. So you will see over here that I continue to explain what P means. Point is your statement. Example is a real-life situation or story. And explain. How does this point link back to the question? How does this point link back to your topic? Now let's look at point. People can stay in touch all around the world. Example. People make use of social media platforms such as Facebook to get in touch with long-lost friends, distant family members, and to follow their lives. And then explain. Without social media, many people would remain detached from others around the world. Do you see how I organize my information using the PEE method or the P method? It is easy to see where my point is. It is easy to see where I've provided an example, and it is clear to see where I have explained how my point links back to the topic. Now you will notice that I did not use any emotional language or rhetorical devices in this P. Let's see why in the next one. Planning continued example. Now this P or paragraph is against. My point here is social media has negatively affected children. My example is, children often compare themselves to people on social media. What they see in photos are often an altered reality enhanced with filters. My explanation. This negatively affects the self-esteem of children. Do you feel good enough when scrolling through social media? Children have no choice but to question whether they are good enough because perfect lives and bodies are seen plastered all over social media. This encourages children to believe that they are not good enough or need to change in order to fit into a social media society. Now, grade 10s, in this particular P, I have used rhetorical questions and I have used emotional language. You can see the first rhetorical question is, do you feel good when scrolling through social media? This helps you engage with your reader. This helps you connect with your reader because they are going to answer that rhetorical question in their mind. I also decided to use words like perfect lies and the bodies are seen plastered all over social media. This use of emotive language allows your reader to be drawn in. Many people enjoy emotive language. As humans, we enjoy reading it. We connect better to emotive language. So, by using rhetorical device as well as emotive language, you will see how this aids your argument and creates a clear and stronger argument. Let's get down to the structure. Firstly, we have our introduction. This is where you will make your stance known. For example, this argumentative essay will prove that apples are better than pears. Remember, you can be creative in explaining your stance. Let's move on to body. We have 5 different paragraphs. First, we have our introduction, where we will make our stance known. Then we have 2 paragraphs for the argument, 1 paragraph against your argument, and then the final paragraph you will have will be your conclusion. What is super important, grade 10s, is that you need evidence to support your opinion. Whether you are in IEB or in a DBE school, you will need to have evidence. Remember, in the conclusion, it is rounding off your essay, once again providing your marker with a clear understanding of your stance. Remember, in a conclusion, you may not add any new information. Tips for the argumentative essay. Remember to always back up any opinion with facts. Avoid writing, I think that. This seems like it is your own opinion and your marker will not follow your argument clearly. Do not be biased in your argument. You must tell both sides of the story. As in the previous slide with structure, you will see that in every single argumentative essay, you will need to address the for argument and the against argument. Remember that you need to round up your ideas and your topic in your conclusion. You can also provide a call of action in your conclusion, motivating the reader to change their ideas about the given topic. Register is incredibly important, grade 10s. Do not shout at the reader. Be careful of the tone that you will use. If you are unsure of this, rather ask a family member or a friend or even one of your teachers to read your argumentative essay before you submit to make sure that you're not shouting at the marker. Here is a link to 2 YouTube videos that will help you create the perfect argumentative essay. Let's move on to our next essay. What is a reflective essay? A reflective essay is an essay where the writer examines his or her life experiences. Just like it is in the word reflective, we are going to reflect in a reflective essay. A writer then explores those experiences and how have they changed and grown from those experiences. I've put this meme next to the explanation over here because it's true, grade 10s. When you're writing a reflective essay, you need to look in the mirror. You need to look at how you've changed and how you've grown from certain experiences. Structure. As always, the introduction tells us what is going to be in the essay. What are you going to discuss in a particular situation or in a particular reflective essay? The introduction needs to sum up what you're going to be talking about. Then, the body of your essay. This is where the writer explains how they have changed from certain experiences that they have had in their life and how this change has caused different changes in their life. Then we get to the conclusion. Once again, this is where a writer would sum up an effect of a scenario that has had on them. How has this change affected their life? They also may look to the future or what lies ahead as a result of this type of reflection. Some helpful questions to ask yourself when you're presented with a reflective essay topic. How far have I come from that point in my life? How have I changed? What steps did I take in order to change and be where I am today? Where am I today? How did I feel through the process of change? And what major events caused me to change? I hope this PowerPoint helped you in your aid to write better argumentative and reflective essays. Next up is poetic devices.